Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another PodOps live training. Today, we are going to be digging into Studio 101. We will go over the basics of how to navigate PodOps Studio, how to start a live stream, how to record, and one-click publishing. As this is live, we can't control our environment all the time. I will let you know that if you hear some loud rumbling or noise, there are some military jets overhead that have been practicing or doing some sort of drill for the last half an hour. So that's what that sound is. Unfortunately, can't do anything about it. So let me get my screen share up here for us. Let me get the correct screen because that will be more helpful. Perfect. All right. So before we dive in, just a quick note. If you visit thepodops.com under our resources tab, you can find the live trainings. Here is where we'll list all upcoming trainings. The next one is on June 28th, and that is our PodOps Connect 101 training. We will go over the basics of how to navigate Connect, how to create email and SMS campaigns, and how to send one-to-one SMS messages. And one more thing before we get started. If you are a PodOps hosting user, we released a new feature today, which is the chapter markers. So this is a very requested feature. You can find this in all of our PodOps accounts for all of our users. And that is within the episode section. Just click on a title of your episode. You will find the new episode chapters on the right. And we've also got instructions available via the Help Center, and we just sent them out in an email. And you'll see that section down here at the bottom. I won't go through the full how-to, but I just wanted to let you know that it's out there. All right, so let's dig into Studio. Right now, we are on the landing page or the login page. So if you're trying to get here or you need to bookmark it, the URL is app.podopstudio.com. If you go to podopstudio.com, that'll take you to the front end website. You can just click the Get Started or the Login button, and it's going to bring you here. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now, this is the dashboard, and it might look a little different depending on if you are or are not a PodOps hosting user, specifically the purple, blue, and yellow boxes at the top. If you are a PodOps user, a summary of all of your downloads, plays, and episodes for your podcasts are going to total here for you. So we're giving you a view into your hosting account. If you are a studio only user and you did not sign up with a plan that gives you access to PodOps Studio, you're not going to see these boxes, so don't be surprised by that. Also on this dashboard on day one, you're not going to see anything under your upcoming sessions here in the center or over on the right. As you create sessions, these are going to populate for you so you can keep track of session titles, the artist, which is generally yourself, the date and the time that you've scheduled it. You can also take quick actions here if you decide to cancel a session. You can go ahead and click the trash icon, and that's just going to remove it for you. If you're looking to meet now, so say you have a podcast to record solo or you want to meet with a co-host, you can jump directly into a session from the dashboard by clicking Meet Now. We're going to do that in a moment, but we're going to continue down the left navigation before we get there. Next, we're going to go into the Studio Creator. So the Studio Creator is really where that Meet Now connects to. Here, you can schedule your sessions in advance. You can view your past sessions. You can also jump into that Meet Now. So you can see my next session scheduled here is the PodOps Connect training that I mentioned that's happening in 2 weeks from today. I can go to all sessions, top tab here. You can see all of my former sessions. These also appear in past. The difference between past and all is your upcoming sessions are also in the all sessions tab. This page always defaults to the upcoming session, so you know what's next on your schedule. You also have a calendar over to the right so you can keep track. You'll notice that the current day is highlighted in blue, and then on the start of the week, we've got that over here in black. Again, we do have a calendar here that will show you your upcoming sessions on the right. This is just an easy way to see your top 5 upcoming sessions, especially for podcasters who have daily or a lot of recording sessions scheduled. This center section can get really busy, and this section on the right can keep you on track for upcoming sessions. So let's go ahead and just schedule a quick one. In the upper right corner, we have the purple button to schedule a session. You can name the session anything you want. We're just going to use one of my pre-populated items. The topic, again, can be anything you want. That is up to you. and then the date. So if I click here, this looks a little different depending on the browser that you use. Right now, I'm in Chrome, so this is going to use the default calendar and clock for Chrome. This will look different in Safari, Firefox, and on Edge. It's going to use your browser default, so don't be thrown if it looks a little different than this. Let's go ahead and select the 19th, and we'll say we're going to meet at 1 p.m. I always leave allow anonymous users to join checked. So this means that when you send this to somebody or you send them a link, and we'll look at how to do that in a moment, they don't have to log in. So they're not creating any credentials. So this is the best way to ensure that your guests can get easy access to your session. Click add. You're going to get the creation message in the right corner. And once that refreshes, you can see that that populated here. So all of my information, my title, my subject, my date, it's all right here. If I realize I need to make a change, I can very easily click the blue pencil icon. It's going to bring up that same screen. I can change my title, my topic, and my session date. Now, the title and the topic, they're not incredibly important as far as this screen here. One thing to note with the title, when we get to the one-click publishing, this will pull over into PodOps hosting. You can still change it once it gets there, but just know there is that connection. The topic today only exists here in Studio. It's more of a personal note for you, so don't worry too much about that. It's not visible necessarily to the end user, and it's not exported with your content. If you need to remove a session, you can simply click the trash icon. It will delete it. Or if you're ready to start it, you can go ahead and click start. That's going to launch the recording platform. I'm going to mute this so that we don't get a crazy echo. You can see here is my recording area. I can use the hamburger menu in the upper left to collapse the navigation. By default, there will be a name entered here the first time you come in. So you can put in whatever you would like your name to appear on the screen and in your recordings in. It will hold as long as you don't clear your cache or your cookies, but you can always change this anytime you come back. So I have rob.podops or -podops in here for mine. If you want to use something different, go ahead. Hit join session. This is going to bring you into your session. You'll notice I'm the moderator. We're not recording by default. So this gives you some time to actually set up, make sure everything's configured, test your mic, test your video. It doesn't start recording by default. Within the, let's actually use the toggle tile here. This is what's going to let you move to full screen. So if I start recording right now, it's going to record the black bars that are around my screen. So I'm going to get those PodOps navigation items in here. If you want that, you absolutely can have that. But if you toggle your views, you can adjust this in order to get to full screen to not have those in that view. Under the more actions, here's really where you have the ability to start your recording, change this to a live stream, noise suppression, add backgrounds. We're not going to deep dive into all of these things today. We will do that in a 102 session. But for today, we will look at the start recording and the start live stream. We'll use the start live stream first, and you'll notice you get a pop-up. It's asking for my YouTube key. If you don't know what that is, simply click "What's this?" and it's going to open this page for you in our help documentation. Within the help documentation, scroll down. We have all the links here to take you to YouTube to set up your live stream. If you have never live streamed with YouTube, and we note this right here, they have a 24-hour verification process. So even if you've had a YouTube account for 10 years or you've had it, as long as YouTube has been around, it doesn't matter. If you have never live streamed with them, they do a 24-hour verification. They do it for everybody. So if you're planning to live stream in the future, there's no harm in starting that verification now. All you have to do is go to their site, submit their little form that pops up, and start that process. I'm unaware of anybody that hasn't been approved, but if you're not approved, let us know. We're always interested in those case studies. Once you actually are approved, that's when you'll be able to get into the studio.youtube, apologize. And there's where they'll give you the key. And that is also detailed in this same help document. I can't show you that because this live stream is also utilizing YouTube, so there's no way to do that without this visual. But here you can see highlighted where that key is, and we've got really simple instructions. You paste it into this box, click Start Live Stream, and then you're going to have the same experience we're having right now. Going back to my menu, this is where I can start the recording. So when I click this, and we do recommend that you utilize Chrome for Studio, it is the preferred browser. If you use other browsers, some of these settings might not be available, specifically local recording. We do see that a lot of browsers block this feature. So on my own computer, when I utilize Firefox for testing, it will not natively allow me to save the files locally. I need to go in and change my Firefox settings. So if you utilize Chrome, all of the settings are here by default. And what's the difference? So by default, we are saving your file locally to your computer. So that means if you have internet bandwidth issues and you're recording, it's not going to be impacted in the same way as if you're utilizing the option here at the top to save it within the cloud. When you save within the cloud, this is going to be dependent on the strength of your internet. So if your internet provider starts to cut out, or you have a lot of people at home or in your studio with you pulling from bandwidth, this could impact what everything looks like. Also, when you save to the cloud, there's a few minutes time that it takes to process and appear in your account here with Studio. So don't be surprised by that, and I'll show you where it appears. We do auto send you an email as soon as your recording's available. So we're going to click Save Locally, and we'll start recording. And yeah, I didn't think it was going to work, but I thought I'd try. Because I'm shooting this and recording in another space or live streaming, it's blocking it. So can't quite do that, but I thought I'd try. Another option that I'll show you, upper right, you can also get to this from the menu where we were in the record and the live stream, is you can see the strength of your connection. So because my stream or my recording is not active, everything says NA. But once you start your recording, or if you have a guest, you'll be able to see this information for both of you. So you'll have the packet loss resolution. You can expand this to show more. It'll give you all this data. So it gives you some information about what's going on with your feed and how it's performing. Within the participants, so we do have additional features in here. So with Studio, we went beyond just the traditional recording setup. So if you wanted to use this for a meeting, breakout rooms like you have with Zoom or Teams, we have created those features for you here. As well as if you want to invite guests, you've got the invite people icon here in the menu. You can copy this link at the top and paste that into your preferred email platform, or you can utilize any of these buttons to launch a window. This will open your default email tool on your system. This will open Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo. Those have a default message with this link embedded. If it doesn't open, check your pop-ups. That's usually the most common issue, is your pop-ups are blocked and it can't open that for you. You'll also notice on the far right under Mute All, you do have the ability to mute your guests and control that for them. So that's about as far as we're going to go with the recording piece today. Again, as I noted, we'll have a 102 session where we deep dive into this, but it gives you a little bit of a taste of what's available within here. So we're going to close that session and we're going to expand our navigation on the left. And this is going to kick us back to our previous screen. And nothing is going to change here because I didn't save. So I didn't have a live recording. I didn't have a live stream. If I had, that would appear here in the Studio library. So the Studio library is meant to be your repository for all of your audio and video content. So any of the sessions that you record or live stream like we're doing now, if you record them to the cloud, once they process, they will appear here. You'll also see in the upper right corner, we have the option to upload a recording. You can upload files directly to here. So if you have intro music or outro music or advertisements that you're going to stitch into your show, this is where you're going to upload that. It will appear here. You'll notice on my background music, this says published. So this tells me that I have published this episode to PodOps hosting. The way that you would do that with the navigation on the right, which is the same for all of your options, if you expand that, you'll see the publish menu. Here, I'm going to see all of my active podcasts in my hosting account. Now, if you only are a Studio user and you don't have a PodOps hosting account, you're not going to see these options. You can add a hosting account at any time, and this will appear. We're just going to go ahead, call this Publish Test, select a podcast. We'll just stick with my AV Pro and hit Publish. It's going to take it a minute to process that. and then it's going to refresh the page and bring us back to where we were. Depending on the length of the episode, it can take a little bit longer than others. And if it's video or a really heavy video file, that can also take a little bit longer to process. The episode title here, you can also edit this at any time. So that will push into PodOps hosting. We save the episodes for you in hosting in draft mode. So we do not publish anything on your behalf. I know it does say publish here. So in the case of Studio, it's published. But as far as from a PodOps hosting perspective, it's been ported over into the platform and we save it in draft form for you. So this will give you the opportunity in hosting to add show notes, to change your title, add your transcripts. If you want to customize your podcast cover, you can change that. And then you can also schedule it. So if it's not meant to go out today, if this is tomorrow's episode or next week or next month, you can also go ahead and schedule it out at that time. I picked a pretty decent sized file here, so we're just going to cancel and keep going. I won't make you wait for that. But what we will do is we will open in Editor to actually show you the editing component. Now you'll notice on the left, we have Studio Editor and Studio Library, but we wanted to make it so you can navigate to the editor really from anywhere your content exists. So as I noted, the library is your repository for all of your content. The editor section, this is really intended to be where the content lives if you're creating it specifically within the editor. So for example, you would upload it or create it in our system and it's going to be in the library. You can hit add new. And from here, I could say, I want to pull this over from the library to work with it in this section. Or if it's already here, or if I want to skip that step, I can just open it in the editor right here. So again, we're trying to make it flexible, make sure you can just get to it really simply. You'll see that my file is in the center of the screen. If I hit play, this one intentionally has no audio on it because I wanted to ensure that we didn't have a repeat or an echo. You'll notice my name -PodOps is here in the middle. This is what we entered when we first logged in to the recording tool. On the left, we have all of our tools for editing at the moment. So fade in, fade out. If you need to record on the fly, so say we were going to cut something out and want to record something right now, you can record that here. You can also, if you have multiple tracks, this move feature will let you shift them around left and right. We have several additional feature updates throughout June, July, and August to really enrich this editor. So this is our focus. We're bringing AI to it, sound enhancements, removals of oohs and ums. We also have a partnership to support that with some audio teams that we're excited to announce once that's finalized and the contract is all good. So keep an eye out for that. We also made it really easy so you can move around between your content without needing to leave the editor and come back into the editor. So top left is a blue button that I've expanded, and you can see all of the content from the Studio library. So I can click into any of these and it's going to move me into those other files. So I don't have to go back and come forward every time. I can just hop into a different one if I'd like to. I think this one, that was the same session, so that didn't do me any good. There we go. So you can move that way to get to your files, as well as on the right, you can go ahead and click upload. And if you want to bring in a new piece of content that you've not yet uploaded into the system, again, we're trying to make it so you don't have to leave this screen to get your content in here. One thing to always be really aware of is save and exit. If you make changes, be sure that you click the save button in the upper right corner. If you're done, you can click save and exit. The one difference to be very, very aware of, the back icon on the far left there, that's exit. So it will not save. So if you spend hours in here editing your video, editing your audio, and you click back, you more or less just clicked undo if you didn't click save first. So it does not save by default. You have to click the save button. So just be very cognizant of that. I'm a big proponent of saving frequently and often, especially because browsers can crash at any time when we're using web-based software. So it's always your best bet to click save every now and then. If you're done, click save and exit. It's going to kick you right back. Again, we will do a deeper dive session specifically for the editor. This is really just to show you where it's at and what features are in here. So we'll click the back button, which now I have to click back multiple times because I clicked through all those files. And this brings us back to our library. The editor, we really kind of already walked through that and explained it, but I do want to click on this add new one more time just to talk through these two options. So studio upload, again, this is bringing content from the library over to the editor section. And these are the things we saw in that dropdown as well, or from local. So just like in the editor itself in the corner, we had that upload button. If we want to upload new files here, we can do that here. So we're not making the assumption that you're creating everything within the system. You might have created something previously in another platform, or maybe you just have a piece of audio that you've always utilized for your podcast. We want you to be able to upload that and name it whatever you like and add it to your episodes. For our users who are hosting somewhere else, the one-click publishing obviously doesn't work for you because we can't publish your episodes to any of the other hosting providers, but you can export your shows. So the download file option that appears on the right will download any of your completed files from the library or the editor section, and then you can upload that MP3 or MP4 file into your preferred hosting system. So we're fine if you want to use any of those other systems. We hope you'll use PodOps hosting. But again, we want to make sure it's really easy for you to put your content where you would like it. The copy link option here, this is if you would like to share your audio file with somebody outside the system. This can be really helpful if you work with an agency or a partner who edits your content or reviews it, or if you just want to share the finished project and you don't want to download the file. This will give you the ability to share the audio and keep it in the cloud. And the FAQ document, if you click that, that is going to bring you over here to the studio documentation, where it'll give you all of the ways to navigate the creator, the library, the dashboard, talks about recording on your desktop and cloud, supported browsers, and the YouTube live stream. So we are constantly adding to this and building this out, and we will be getting some videos into this section as we continue to progress. So as you start to use Studio, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. You can reach us at hi@thepodops.com and plan to join us in 2 weeks for our PodOps Connect training. We will go over the basics of SMS and email, and watch for trainings in July as we dig deeper into hosting and Studio. And I look forward to bringing you more updates, and I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Thank you.